Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Libra November 2018 horoscope forecast. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing up is as far as November goes, the Sun will be in Scorpio from the 1st until the 22nd. So the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, there could be a strong focus, concentration of energy and attention on finances, monetary matters, resources, possessions, self-esteem, self-worth, income generated, and values. And given that this is Scorpio energy, this could be done perhaps with a lot of Scorpio-like emotional intensity, very willful, intractable energy, intransigence, a lot of resourcefulness, and perhaps even very secretively and surreptitiously. It could be done with the means of a lot of power and control. And remember, Scorpio energy can be manipulative, so just be careful this time, Libra, that you're not focusing too much on trying to manipulate others through means, through financial means, such as saying, I won't give you this material item, or I won't give you this money if you don't do such and such for me. But also, given this is the Sun, and you're talking about the second house as far as what's emphasized and how it's Sun in Scorpio, this could shine the light in some cases, perhaps on a Scorpio possession that you might have not seen in a while. Given, Scorpio energy is mysterious, it could unveil that mystery, so to speak. It might even be a Scorpio-like item, such as, it could be something from Halloween that you couldn't find, like a talking skull, or something else that could be Scorpio related, such as something with the supernatural occult, like it could be a Ouija board, or something even like a sexual toy, or something with a locksmith item, if that is what you do, something that could be Scorpio related. Anyway, next thing up is, as far as November goes, the Sun will be in Sagittarius from the 22nd until the 30th. So the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, there might be a strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention on communications, siblings, neighbors, cousins, short journeys, assimilating information, early education, even transportation. Now, given this is Sagittarius energy, this could be done perhaps with a lot of expansiveness and buoyancy, exuberance, enthusiasm, ebullience, a lot of effervescence, and optimism as well. But also, unfortunately, it could be done perhaps with a lot of self-righteous energy. So just make sure, if you're talking about you're focusing on your philosophies and in your communications, that you don't look at it like, well, this is my opinion, that's the only one that counts, and I'm just going to be oblivious to everybody else's. So just be careful and guard against that energy. Also could be done, these third house matters could be done with a lot of jocularity and jovial energy and a lot of enjoyment. And the jocular energy, of course, with the people that are involved in that third house, such as siblings, neighbors, cousins, and it could even be people from your early education. Anyway, next thing up is, there will be a new moon in Scorpio on November 7th, so the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, you might find yourself embarking on some new Scorpio way or like income that's generated, something. You might start a money-making venture that could be Scorpio related. It could be something connected with astrology, the supernatural occult, locksmithing, some embalming, working as a coroner, something that could be Scorpio related, or anything that might involve transformation, such as recycling or doing something, say, like transforming vehicles, rebuilding engines, or transforming a vehicle. So anyway, and also this could be a time where you might begin to work on matters with your self-worth and self-esteem, with a lot of Scorpio-like emotional intensity and very willful energy. This is also could be a very new period of transforming energy, and it could be something connected with your self-worth, self-esteem, and monetary matters and possessions as well. Also, too, it could also be a time where you start valuing resourcefulness, emotional intensity, seeing things deeply, and really going beyond subterfuge and superficiality, going deep, and really in just going more deep in general, and really being more incisive and valuing these things. So those are some things to look at as far as that new moon in Scorpio goes. Now, next thing up, there will be a full moon in Gemini on November 23rd, so the ninth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, in some cases, this could be about a completion or culmination of a higher education course. A Gemini-like higher education course. It could be something, for example, with data communications, satellite communications, journalism, something with, it could be doing something with journalism, or even something with dexterity, which could be like auto or refrigeration mechanics. Now, another way this could manifest, though, is that this could be about becoming tired, exasperated, full, at a very mercurial, vacillating, even two-faced, or somebody that's over loquacious. Could be an in-law, a grandchild, a foreigner, someone you may know at a religious congregation or some college, university. And also, when you're talking about the full moon, it could often be about revelations and unveilings. And this could be about a revelation or unveiling of somebody that might simply be very two-faced, very dual in their nature. And it could be somebody that or just overly gossipy. It could be somebody that could be at a college, university, religious congregation, somebody you meet through traveling abroad, a foreigner, an in-law, or grandchild. Also, this could be about the completion or culmination of some kind of writing that you do that of course may be published. This is the house of publishing. And also about putting this full emotional energy into diversifying a lot of diversification in something ninth house related. And it could be something where at a college or college, university, where you might take you might take a wide divergence of courses or something, or really. So anyway, and a lot of full loquacious energy, perhaps into global communications at this time. So anyway, next thing up. Well, Mercury will be in Sagittarius. It will be retrograde from the 17th until the 30th. So the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, this could be a time where you might be more voluble than usual, just talking in general and talking about sports, religion, philosophy, theology. It could be where you're talking more about these matters with siblings, cousins, neighbors, people that are prominent in your short journeys. And as I've stated previously, Mercury can also be about siblings. So this could be where Sagittarius siblings, they could be Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Sagittarius-like characteristics, can figure more prominently in you assimilating information, your communications, your short journeys. You might find yourself running errands for these people a little bit more, or they may be doing it for you. Now, also, given it's going to be retrograde for about half the month, during that time, you might be reviewing a lot of philosophical, candid, very blunt conversations where you're speaking that veritable truth, so to speak, with third house people, such as people from your early education, cousins, siblings, neighbors, and also about thinking optimistically. Really in regards to maybe some communication project you might want to get involved in, and people that are third house related people, such as your siblings, your neighbors, your cousins at this time. So anyway, next thing up. Venus will be in Libra. It will be retrograde from the 1st until the 16th. So the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, you may find yourself at this time wanting to be more attractive than usual. Libras are often very attractive anyway, but it might even be more emphasized at this time than usual. You might find yourself coming into more money at this time than usual. Venus, of course, is about things that are associated with money, It could be from, given that it's going to be retrograde for about half the month during that time, it could be something, some pay that maybe you were owed and didn't get paid out. It could be some legal settlement or some lawsuit, perhaps what you think is maybe a fair amount. Hold on a minute, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. Anyway, well, going back to Venus and Libra, the thing about this is this could be a time also where you might be valuing more peace and harmony, charm, tact and diplomacy and refinement, and this could be seen on a first impression more so than usual. It's also about perhaps spending more money on the self to look more attractive, and about a lot of balanced spending as well on the self at this time. And also too, another way this might manifest is that you might reconnect during that retro period. It could be somebody that you may know from your early childhood. It could be a it could be a Libra sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply one that embodies Libra-like characteristics. And it's also about valuing and the enjoyment, perhaps, of Libra-like new beginnings. It could be something connected with art, such as sculpting, painting, or drawing. It could be something connected with the law, such as doing something, working as an attorney, or learning to maybe become somebody doing something else with the law, such as a judge or a bailiff, or anything else Libra related, such as doing something with relationships, such as a marriage counselor. So anyway, well, the next thing up is Mars will be in Aquarius as far as November goes, from the 1st until the 15th. So the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, you might find yourself in more acrimonious, contentious situations with lovers, with children. This could be about perhaps unpredictable, our contentious situations, or even battles. It could even be just by playing sports, doing something recreational with people. This could also be, the way this can manifest is that you might become angry at this time, perhaps of idiosyncratic, bizarre, or unusual behavior from somebody that could be a lover, it could be a child, somebody that is prominent in your fun, amusement, or enjoyment, perhaps. And also, this could be as well, and could be manifest in injecting a lot of spontaneous, unpredictable energy in speculative matters. If you are unattached at this time, Libra, this could be about having a sexual liaison with an Aquarius, which could be a superficial fling or interlude. It could be an Aquarius sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply one that embodies Aquarius-like characteristics. Now, also, too, this could be another way this could manifest is putting a lot of humanitarian and selfless energy into 5th house matters, such as matters with children, with lovers, with people that you share your fun, your amusement, enjoyment, creative endeavors with. And also, you might find yourself having a greater propensity getting into arguments and fights over friends, over things that are of some kind of, it could be connected with sports or some kind of enjoyment or creative endeavor you might share with them, or something that could even be over of a speculative nature, such as you maybe getting mad at them for something that they're investing in, or vice versa, and one trying to set the other straight, so to speak, as far as that goes. Next thing up, Mars will be in Pisces as far as November goes, from the 15th until the 30th. So the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, Libra, you might find yourself becoming angry, more so than usual, over perhaps deceptive, duplicitous, indolent, nebulous. It could be an aunt or uncle, someone prominent in your workplace or your daily routine or your health life. This also could manifest perhaps in injecting a lot of self-sacrificing and compassionate energy in your daily routine, perhaps even the service you perform to others, or even pets if you do have any. And now, another way this could manifest is you might be at this time fulfilling some kind of sexual fantasy perhaps with somebody, by having an interlude with someone at your place of work, perhaps. Could be fellow employee. This could be somebody maybe that you know at a health place, for example. It could be somebody that you know that works out with you, or somebody that you know, like say at a fitness center, that works out vigorously. Maybe there's some attraction because of their physique or what have you. But at the same time, keep in mind, and also you might be more susceptible to accidents at the workplace. They could be ones that could come from chemicals, for example. It could be something from slipping at work, or it could be over some chaotic, maybe some situation that might be chaotic, and such as a lot of people running, and you happen to run into somebody or trip over somebody. There's some kind of alarm that goes off, something like that. It could be something of that nature as well, because Pisces energy, of course, could be very chaotic. So anyway, and also remember that Pisces energy, this is Mars and Pisces in the 6th house being emphasized and highlighted. Another way this could manifest is that you might feel more like putting energy into loafing and relaxing and lethargy, as opposed to actually taking action in 6th house matters, such as your employment, your workplace, your just general matters in your daily routine, or matters even with pets, or doing something health related, such as working out. So anyway, next thing up is, well, Jupiter will be in Scorpio as far as November goes, from the 1st until the 8th, so the 2nd house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, you might find yourself it could be very fortuitous for making maybe a transformation in terms of income generated, also going beyond subterfuge and superficiality, perhaps with the people that you generate income with, or just over monetary matters in general, and also about perhaps having really transformation really in terms of your self-esteem and self-worth. It could be very beneficial for that, and also perhaps adopting a very deep, profound philosophy regarding your self-worth and self-esteem, such as really understanding perhaps that it's about you, that makes yourself happy, and you can't depend on others to really increase your self-esteem and self-worth. It's about what your conviction of yourself is, and let that belief supersede those of others. Now, also too, this could be the way this can manifest as well, as injecting a lot of enthusiasm and exuberance into Scorpio related things in order to perhaps generate money and help you increase your resources or possessions. It could be doing something astrological, something with the supernatural or the occult, locksmithing, embalming, some kind of investigation, or even recycling, or anything where transformation is involved, such as recycling. Now, anyway, next thing up is Jupiter will be in Sagittarius as far as November goes, from the 8th until the 30th. So the 3rd house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, this could be very fortuitous for sport. I mean, as far as, I guess you could say, for sports or religion, philosophy, perhaps with neighbors, cousins. It could be people you know in your short journeys. It could be siblings. But remember, as I've stated previously, is that Jupiter can have a tendency it's very paradoxical, it's very benign and benevolent, but could also have a tendency to enlarge and expand. And it could enlarge and expand foolhardy, self-righteous behavior, over-optimistic behavior. It could be with matters connected with siblings, cousins, neighbors, even someone you may know from your early education. It could be maybe in the manner in which how you're dealing with these people. And also, too, this is also, Jupiter could be about hope. This could be about very strong hope and finding the truth, the veritable truth, in matters through strong communications, through perhaps short journeys, taking those short trips, and even people that may have been prominent in your early education, perhaps. So those are some things to look at as far as this Jupiter and Jupiter Sagittarius third house energy goes. Anyway, people, hold on again. Sorry about that, I'm back again. Next thing up. Well, Saturn will still be in Capricorn, so the fourth house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, Libra, you might find yourself at this time where you might be dealing with more restrictions and limitations as far as your home and family life goes. It could be a time where you're experiencing more despondency in this area and people you're close to home with as well. And also you might find yourself dealing with a debilitated or sickly family member. It could be somebody, it could be something that could be Capricorn related, such as something with the knees, the bones, or the joints, and of course making you feel somewhat despondent or melancholy. And also too, it could be that an older Capricorn person really maybe plays a role in perhaps your emotional security some degree, or maybe your home and family life more so than usual. It could be a Capricorn sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply one that embodies Capricorn-like characteristics. And of course, whether this impact is beneficial or more to your detriment can of course depend a lot on the aspects that this makes 2 points in your natal chart. Now, another thing too is that this could be also about perhaps serious foundations at this time and taking responsibility for them. And also remember, the fourth house can also be about traditions. It could also be about taking that, you could say, responsibility maybe to some kind of Capricorn like tradition. It could be something connected with mountain climbing as an example, as far as Capricorn tradition may go. And really, well, the next thing up I want to talk about now, well, the next thing I'm going to, of course, it's in the right order, is that as far as November goes, Uranus will be in Taurus from the 1st until the 6th. So the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, this could manifest perhaps in Taurus friendships figuring prominently in a transformation, crisis, some kind of emotional, moral, or monetary support. This could be Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Taurus-like characteristics. Also, too, another way this could manifest, this could be about the formulation of a new financial plan. It could be maybe connected with getting maybe out of debt, or where you don't have to rely on some kind of monetary support from somebody. This could also be about an unanticipated tax break or some unusual activity with maybe with your credit at this time, your credit card perhaps. But at the same time, another way this could manifest is maybe making it maybe there's some kind of transformation or change that might be done maybe through say electronic means or through the use of computerized equipment. It could be doing something where you're working out and making a transformation of yourself that way, using very high-tech electronic and computerized equipment. Maybe there's somebody or people on the internet that you know that or maybe information you're getting on there that is helping you make that maybe a major change or transformation. So anyway, next thing up. Well, as far as November goes, Uranus will be in Aries from the 6th until the 30th. So the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, you might find yourself where perhaps Aries friendships might figure more prominently in legal matters. It could be with negotiations of some kind, or maybe open adversaries. They might be helping you try to deal with them more. It could be Aries, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Aries-like characteristics. Now, you might, if you're unattached Libra, this is a time where you maybe marry a foreigner, or it could be somebody in a Uranus-like profession. It could be something, could be an astrologer, somebody in, it could be someone in like aerospace or astronomy, or an innovator, someone in computers or electronics. Now, Maybe there's a way, if there's you might be doing some negotiations using the internet or trying to make a compromise with somebody as far as maybe by using the internet as well. You might find yourself too where your relationships are more erratic and sporadic than usual, and there might be more unpredictable, unusual things that happen that are in connection with your relationships at this time. And it might be where you might maybe dealing with your more Uranus-like open adversaries, and it could be ones that could be somewhat volatile or have some very combative energy in them. They could be people that are in they could be people that are in like astrology or aerospace or innovators, computers, electronics. So anyway, next thing up, Neptune will still be in Pisces, so the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, you might find yourself, sadly, in some cases, the health maybe dissipating or dissolving to some degree, and maybe there may even be health matters that might be very nebulous and unclear at this time. Now, also too, as far as the health goes, be guard against, it could be something alcohol or recreational drug related that could be detrimental to your health. At this time, you may be more susceptible to that. And sometimes it could just be simply from an inadvertent chemical assimilation, such as like radon in the home. You might find you might be more susceptible to something at work that could happen to you that could be that might be negative, that might be Neptune related. It could be a chemical spill, for example. It could be something where you might slip or on that, or especially if this is making an adverse aspect, say, to Mars, and it could really give a greater propensity for some kind of accident there. And also dealing with more chaos and confusion in your daily routine, more so than usual. It could be an aunt or an uncle, might be more confusing and more nebulous and unclear, more so than usual. But on a positive end, you may find yourself doing something Neptune related as far as employment goes. It could be something with poetry, dancing, the metaphysical, which includes astrology. It could be photography or chemistry, doing something with pharmaceutical work or special effects. So anyway, well, last but not least, Pluto will still be in Capricorn, of course, so the 4th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, I know a lot of you don't want me to say the dreaded D word, but I'm going to anyway. This could in some cases be the actual literal death of a home or family member, someone you're close at home with. It could be the less dominant parent, which is often the mother. This could be about dealing with upheavals and power struggles on the home front. There could be control issues going on with your home and family life, but also you might find yourself dealing where you're digging deep in order to find out about your roots and your ancestry at this time, and really about going through subterfuge, superficiality with family members, people you're close at home with. Now, Pluto can have a tendency to obliterate and destroy. It could be about destroying or tearing down foundations where maybe you might, but at the same time, remember that Pluto is also about regeneration and rebirth, so they may be supplanted with other ones. Now, also too, you might find yourself being in some cases too, in isolated cases, this could be where maybe even terrorism could have more of an impact on your emotional security than usual. I know it has that impact on virtually almost everybody, regardless of what transits are happening in one's chart, but it could even be more emphasized with you, more so than most people. It could be because maybe there's something in your area or near home where you have a reason to fear this more so than usual. And also, it's about a time where you want to maybe have greater power and control over what you're going to do in that latter part of your life if you're not already in it. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Libra November 2018 horoscope forecast. Stay tuned next time where I'll be giving you my Scorpio November 2018 horoscope forecast. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel, but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.